Okay, so this is just a quick, Vaggie deserved better kind of rant. One, because I felt bad for her in season 2, and 2, because I think it's funny and weirdly nice. Some of y'all think I sound like her, and for those of you who don't hear it, it's probably because you've not heard my non-YouTube voice, which is also kind of like my sick voice as well. They tag team a lot. Anyway though, be nice if I hop all over the place with points and ideas. This is purely just thoughts I had in the moment. So the reason I think Vaggie deserves more is mainly due to her being slightly underdeveloped. And yeah, I know we're only 2 seasons deep, but she's still a main character, or more of a secondary character with strong ties to the main character due to being in a relationship. But I only say this due to her flaws and lack of being called out when she messes up, other than her angel reveal, and that's mainly due to the show not letting her mess up enough to develop an actual arc to reflect on. Because yeah, she does have flaws that we see, aka her being quick to violence to protect a hotel that's supposed to be for rehabilitation. She's stubborn and is just fully distrustful for anyone other than Charlie, and weirdly Lucifer in season 2. Old habits die hard, I guess. But you could do a lot with any of that, yet nothing goes anywhere for her to develop and grow on screen. Hands down, it would be so interesting to see Vaggie be more put off on the actual work of the hotel and actually have an arc where she unlearns what she was told in heaven. Because yeah, I know in season 2 we have the flashback where Vaggie has always been slightly different from the others. However, she still kind of enjoyed the military aspect of it and the mindset. So I would like to see that development get challenged instead of her just already being established as already being different from the norm of The Exorcist, Plus, thanks to the Pitch Bible episode build, we do see Vaggie was supposed to go to the club when Charlie wasn't around and socialize with the other characters and even dance with them, which how mind-blowing would it have been for Vaggie to have stayed behind and gone to the club and actually warmed up to the group and was having an actual nice time in hell, for that matter, only for Adam to be oh, I know that chick. She was one of my best exorcists, or something a bit more dramatic, as a way to throw Charlie off. And when Charlie returns home, exactly when the group does, and Vaggie's all excited and happy to talk to her, gets pushed away by Charlie and blocks Vaggie from the group, and we get the big reveal that Charlie now knows, along with the group now knowing as well. And had we had more time and less focus on the war, we could have seen how her not saying anything affects how everyone now sees her, because let's be honest, this is a huge secret that should have been given its time, yet Vaggie doesn't get called out at all. The group doesn't care, and Charlie gets over it hella fast just because someone else told her Vaggie's actions mean more. And okay, yeah, sure, fine, but it's still such a cheap thing to do to a character with such a deep story arc. And what also sucks is a lot of the times that Vaggie does do something wrong or not super thought out, it only backfires on Charlie, which man, do I wish that in season 1 Charlie mentioned that Vaggie said it was a good idea to use her authority to have Angel come back. Yet it was obviously Charlie's actions that made it worse, because Vaggie knows Charlie. She should have kind of known her advice wasn't going to go down well, and hands down she should have been called out by Angel too. Get on her that not everything can be solved just because Charlie's a princess, or that having Charlie throwing her authority around doesn't work in hell. Make it clear for Vaggie that things that worked in heaven don't work here. Because how is she supposed to develop in front of us if we're never given moments for her to be called out and then develop from it? And please don't say Vaggie is just a static character, as she's shown no signs of helping track the dynamic changes of the characters. And clearly, based on her big angel reveal, she was more so meant to have a self-acceptance / new role type character arc thing going on after no longer being an exorcist, yet her self-acceptance is either off-screen or off screen a lot of the time. Yeah, we still have a moment, I guess, of Huss just saying what's up and her trying to help Charlie during the trust episode. But season 2, she kind of takes a backseat and her new role was already established, and we didn't really see much of that in season 1. And Vaggie running the hotel in season 2 is great, don't get me wrong, but it's just quick scenes and people saying she's doing a good job. We don't really see her interacting much in season 2 with the people of the hotel, and to add more on to the whole Vaggie should be called out out and learn that hell isn't like heaven, then maybe, during the whole Vox, Lucifer, Angel Riot episode, she could have gone with the angels instead of Charlie. Like, she could have told her she can handle it and to just sleep, only for it to backfire because Vox knows she's an angel, and we can even have her question how he knows that. Hell, we could still have Vaggie include Lucifer just in case, or we could have just had Vaggie say something to Lucifer and he went off and he did it on his own. That way it would have been more fair for Charlie to be upset at both of them instead of her immediately getting on her dad's ass for no reason because she didn't know the full story. But even when she knows that it was Vaggie, she kind of lets it go in a weird way. But yeah, had Vaggie, however, have had all of that happened, it would have caused even more problems with not only hell and heaven, but the Morningstar family and Sarah, which would make Charlie's anger more valid. Mentioning Vaggie said she could handle it, and yet now the hotel looks even worse, and why would she tell her dad? And that Charlie should have known sending an ex-exorcist was a bad idea, and then we can have this little, oh, you're clearly not over me once being an exorcist moment, and Vaggie calling Charlie out on her being obsessed about Vox moment. Hands down, that would probably be a lot, but would at least give the angel issue towards Vaggie the weight that it deserves back to explore, and show us that Vaggie's secrets still hurt a lot of people and that she still has a ways to go into really figuring out this whole thing going on in her life now. She's only been in hell for 3 years. Of course she's not going to understand everything that goes on in hell. Yeah, she knows a little bit more than Charlie, but they're both in the same level of not really understanding how the structure of this world works. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that, on why I feel like Vaggie is kind of underdeveloped right now. There's just not enough given to her to develop. She's just kind of there in a sense. And the things that they do give her don't ever get brought back up again. And it's please bring this back up. It was very interesting, and it would be a really good insight to her and her overall character development in general. Because, Husk says that Vaggie hates herself. So it's we would like to get more into the topic. Again, I don't need to be told, how Husk just told us. I needed to be shown the development that Vaggie is going through. But she's not showing us anything. Or Spindlehorse is not showing us anything. And I just feel bad, because there's a lot about Vaggie that I really enjoy, that I really wish they would just get on to and keep going with it. There's so many things they could do with Vaggie, yet they choose not to do it for some reason. And honestly, I feel like this happens to a lot of the female characters, where the female characters aren't allowed to be flawed enough, in a sense that they would be seen as bad people, or morally gray. They don't get to, they get to be as slightly gray as possible, but they cannot be fully moved over into the gray area, which is ironic considering that Vaggie's gray. But I've noticed it a lot with the female characters. They're not allowed to be moved into a gray area of their dynamics, their developments, their story arcs, other than maybe Charlie, but I feel like that was an accident because Viv made the Pikachu face when people really did not like the way that she was acting. And another thing that I feel bad for Vaggie for is that I also feel that Vaggie is vastly overlooked by Charlie and slightly taken advantage of, not on purpose, mind you, but the times Vaggie's deeper feelings have been voiced, Charlie kind of ignores it. Vaggie clearly believes in season 1 that her only purpose is to serve others, which yeah, in a way it is, as she was made to do so. And after getting thrown out of the one thing she was good at and was her entire life, she basically clung to Charlie and feels like she's pointless if she can't help. And obviously, I don't think Charlie is aware of this fully and taking advantage of it, but her happy-go-lucky, everything will be fine tunnel vision does end up taking Vaggie for granted and fuels their worst habits, creating a weird, borderline toxic cycle. And yes, it is slightly toxic. It's not healthy for your partner to go above the norms of helping you and putting their own mental health on fire just so you feel better. Okay? And I'm not saying they're bad people because of it. They just have very unhealthy coping mechanisms due to a lot. And there is a big underline of codependency from Vaggie from all of this. As again, Vaggie doesn't see herself as a full person, and though not shown, is still adjusting to her new life, away from heaven and the exorcist, and everything she's ever known. And now, due to dating Charlie, is now in the same role, just a different box. Because again, Vaggie feels that she owes Charlie for all the nice things that she's done, and is pretty much indebted to her, and that's where the imbalance comes from between them, in my opinion. Because I know Charlie doesn't see it that way, but for Vaggie she does. And the times that Vaggie has voiced these like little moments of, this is not quite the vibe that we have going on between each other. Like, you know, the times that Vaggie has shown those moments and Charlie just glides over it and it's like, you should really pay attention to what Vaggie is saying. But yeah, with the weird codependency that Vaggie kind of has, it also causes her to not be as close to the other cast members as we would say Charlie is, and it makes me wish Charlie noticed this, because even in season 2, she still overlooks Vaggie, and while yes, she's grieving, she still kind of left everything on Vaggie to handle, and even knowing now that she's an angel and for some reason thought it was a good idea to leave her alone with sinners who now know they can kill her. Like, come on, Charlie, think. And like, you would think that after season 1 where Charlie kept running off, or when things got too hard and she left Vaggie in charge, that would change slightly. But nope, season 2, Charlie just doubles down and keeps doing it. And yes, I hear you, Charlie was tunnel focused on Vox, but I'll argue Charlie didn't fully care what Vox was saying or that Heaven actually wanted to apologize. It was just that she wanted to prove him and Hell right. That was her main focus. She even mentions her dad, and it's like in season 1, he like agreed with what you said, like he believes in you. He even helped rebuild the hotel. That should prove that he like now kind of believes in your cause. Why are you so like, in your face about everything going on? But like, again, that's all she wanted to do. She only wanted to prove that her point was right, and saw no issues in just leaving Vaggie to run the hotel with actual guests this time. And yeah, after the big fight, Charlie does apologize, but she kind of makes excuses at the same time. And yeah, says that it's no excuse and that Vaggie shouldn't be fine with it, which awesome. Yes, that's how this should go. But then like she kind of backpedals again to talk about everything going on, and Vaggie offers sexy time, which as an asexual, I'm 50-50 on the whole. They needed a sexy time break to come back together, but they were having an actual deep conversation that their actions really needed to be acknowledged and that things need to change between them so they don't keep repeating the same issues, but they don't do that. And like, moving it back to Vaggie, there's not many times when Vaggie voices herself, and when she does, again, Charlie just dismisses her, and that's how we get to these arguments. Because the big one in season 1 is probably her not wanting to go to heaven and trying to lie her way out. And it's like, you see that she's uncomfortable, and yet Charlie kind of pushes her to come with her, and story-wise, I get why. But if the meeting is just for Charlie, then realistically, Charlie should have gone alone, which is, you know, the whole point of where I think Vaggie should have stayed behind and actually interacted with the cast that is not Charlie. And if I had to point out all of season 2 moments, we'll be here all day, but hands down, Vaggie is such an overshadowed character, and any moment that is focused on her is rushed or skipped over. Hell, even her thing with Loot was pushed to the side too. And that's such an interesting dynamic to look into now that Adam is gone. And obviously, we have a few more seasons to go, and season 3 might be the season for Vaggie. But based on some of the information for season 3, I don't really think so. But these last 2 seasons have just been a big L for my girl, especially with the name change that had zero importance, as we get nothing the rest of the season. And then right at the end, we just get the E taken off her name. It's just so sad and unfair to a character that has so many interesting story ideas, along with character dynamics too. I genuinely want to see more of Vaggie interacting with the cast other than Charlie. Like, her interacting with Carmilla by herself was nice. It was such a nice break, which is weird to say. But then in season 2, we have Charlie and Vaggie go see Carmilla, and it's like, ugh, can we please just have them separate, not break up, just separate and do their own thing. Charlie goes off and does her own thing all the time, yet we never see what Vaggie does in her spare time, other than those quick scenes where she's cleaning up the hotel. Like, I want to see her dynamic with Angel. I want to see her dynamic with Husk. I even really want to see her dynamic with Cherry. I think they'd be really good friends, yet we just gloss over it. We gloss over it. Just so we can glaze Charlie even more. And I'm like, I know she's the main character, but she doesn't need so much glazing right now. Anyway, that's my word vomit of the day. I will see y'all Saturday, hopefully with a Poppy of Poppy Playtime redesign, because the prototype is going to take me a bit, as drawing mechanical type stuff is not something I do often. But anyway, love y'all. Bye! Also, thank you to the other members. You have my whole heart. Everyone else, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials right here. And if possible, hit that join button or super to join the Board of Teeth. It really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!